Hey guys, it's Greg Jones for Engine Builder. We are here at UCC 2022. I'm joined by Steve Darnell. Behind us is his custom truck named Iron Rod, and it's got not one, but two Cummins engines in it, and it's our diesel of the week.
This video is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Visit amsoil.com for more information.
Steve, thanks so much for taking some time today to chat with us about this custom truck that you built. It's really, really cool. Tons of custom touches on it, and we'd love to know a little bit about some of the motivation behind the build, and of course we want to know about each of the Cummins engines you got on here.
Well, the motivation of the build basically is the fact that I grew up in the steel industry. I was an iron worker for probably 12 years prior to going into the welding. But in the steel industry, I mean, you learn how to weld at a young age, and you learn about metals and things like that. And it's just been really a part of my life. So when the opportunity came up to build something that had to do with welding, I wanted to do something that was World War II era. I'm a big fan of the Greatest Generation, and I wanted to do something that looked like what a vet would have got out of World War II and had a welding business, right? Sure. And back then they kind of took whatever they could find and turned it into a welding truck. And that always, when I was a kid, I used to see these guys, these old welders come in, and they had old trucks with stuff that they had made to make a welding truck. Yeah. And so for me, it was kind of second nature to put something like this together, because I've seen some of the craziest things ever. And so what I wanted to do is I just wanted to take it a notch up and put a couple of 12-valve Cummins. Well, I got a 4-cylinder Cummins on the back. Yeah. It's got a 12-valve Cummins in the front. Okay. The diesel just really brings the grunt to it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it rolls coal out of it. It just got, it's a little more attitude. Yeah. It's mean, So,
Steve, tell us a little bit about the cab. Let's start there.
Well, the cab's a 1947 Federal. Okay. A lot of these old trucks were used for farms, ranches. They used them for logging, a lot of logging trucks, hauling hay. I mean, they were just basically a good old work truck. Yeah. They had their slogan was basically built to last forever. I mean, and you didn't see a lot of them. Federals, there wasn't a ton of them. Yeah. The Diamond T was kind of like the same truck, but they really look a lot like a Diamond T, but they were a good old work truck is basically what they were. Yeah.
And then you said you got the 4-cylinder Cummins in the back that's running your welding equipment.
So the welder's, it's a 4-cylinder that I took out of a forklift. I knew the forklift for years. Actually, it was a friend of mine's forklift that I knew from a little kid. I knew it had a Cummins in it. Pulled it out. We put an industrial P-pump on it. I put a cover on it, and then we put we compounded the turbos on it. So what we did is we married it to a SA200 welder. We put an adapter plate from Diesel Conversion Specialties on it, and then Merlin Johnson, made a flywheel that'll bolt to it so we could start it up. The welder welds great on this thing. It's got an insane copper windings in the welder. It's actually still a good welder. So you could go up here and weld the grandstands together today with it if you wanted to. So cool. The welder works good. Yeah.
All right, and then you got the 6-cylinder 12-valve up here. Power in the truck. Yeah,
so it's a 5.9 Cummins. It's got 2 industrial turbos on it, compounded. It's got the industrial pump on it. So it makes a lot of torque. It actually runs really good. Yeah. It actually runs, the water system runs off this front radiator to the rear welder. So the rear welder's always warm. Like you pull up the job site and it's already ready to go. Yeah. So it's really kind of a cool setup.
Yeah. If you had to guess, what kind of horsepower numbers are you seeing out of it?
I would imagine that this motor's making probably 600 horse. Okay. The welder probably makes 130. Yeah. And what's funny is the welder that the SA200 comes with makes like 15 to 22 horsepower. Yeah. And this thing makes probably 120, 130. So it's making 100 horsepower more than it should. Right, right. But I just turned the welder up. I set it at the right RPM so I can dial in my gauges to actually weld with it. But it'll burn 70-18 1/8 inch all day long.
Yeah.
It's a great weld.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's for utility.
Yeah, it works good. And
Awesome.
the whole back of it is staged up. Basically, you could use it. It's got a vise, it's got a little shear on it, it's got a drill press, and everything on it works, you know? Everything works on it.
Yeah. Steve, anything else? Obviously, there's tons of details, around the truck. Anything else you want to mention on the truck that you did, or just anything else about each of the engines that we haven't discussed?
The frame underneath the truck is all I-beam, so I wanted this theme to be themed out 100% for an iron worker, for the history of iron workers and welders. So I wanted to do the I-beam frame because it just really represents the structural iron workers in our country that are up there trying to put these buildings together. And then the rest of it is, the link bars are all square tubing, they're all made. It's got a Dana 60 front, it's got a Dana 80 in the rear.
Okay.
We got these 40-inch tires on it. But it really is it's just kind of a cool work of art alongside of the fact that it actually works.
Absolutely.
And if 4 wheels good, I can't believe how it climbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying you do a couple of different events with it. And
yeah, we went to the King
fun.
of the Hammers with it.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big off-road event. I drove it like, I don't know, maybe 25 miles out through the desert and back and through some whoops. And it'll climb straight up a hill. The front end's kicked down so far and there's so much weight on the back, it just goes up.
Yeah.
It actually 4 wheels really well.
Very good. Awesome. Steve, we appreciate you giving us some of your time to talk about
You got
this.
it.
Why don't you tell the folks where they can follow you if they don't already follow you?
I'm on YouTube under Welder Up, and my Instagram's Welder Up Vegas. If you want to get on there and check out some of the stuff that we do, there's plenty to watch. My YouTube channel, there's a bunch of stuff on there. On YouTube, there's a whole, I think I did like a 30-minute walk around and talked about this truck, but it's on there. So if you guys want to check it out, you can go there and check it out.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank Steve again for giving us some time. Make sure you're checking him out on social media. And of course, make sure you're checking out Engine Builder for more engine content. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.